What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video I want to go over 3 new leaks we got on Assassin's Creed Red. 3 different kind of pieces of information, all coming from the same person in Tom Henderson. Obviously, he knows his stuff, not only in the gaming industry, but also with Assassin's Creed, has gotten loads of things right. So although you can definitely take it with a grain of salt, I have no problem with that. This is a guy who I kind of trust with leaks and rumors above pretty much everybody else. And he goes over a couple different details for Assassin's Creed Red, which is that Japanese game that seemingly is coming out next year, and that's kind of one part of it. So he starts off the article talking about, holiday 2024, but of course Ubisoft has been delaying quite a few games. I think the game is going to make it and release probably around that October-November period where Assassin's Creed games normally release. We know Mirage is kind of the kickoff of, again, yearly releases for the franchise, but then he goes into a couple new details, one of which is that it's fully playable. And then the second thing is he expects to see more and hear more about it early next year, so early 2024. Now, the fully playable thing, that's new. That's a pretty big thing. The second thing of seeing more from the game next year, early next year, actually, that's the big part, because normally these games are kind of announced around the E3 period. Ubisoft tends to have those big E3 shows where they show up at Xbox's event, back in the day, I guess. Xbox's event, PlayStation's event, their own event, and they would show Assassin's Creed off quite a bit. In fact, they recently did that with Mirage, showing it at the PlayStation Showcase and then again at theirs. I think, was it at the Xbox event too? So really, they're still doing it. But the point is, they normally announce and show off their game around the midway point of the year, right around June time. So this would be a whole lot earlier. Now, we already know this game exists versus what in the past, Valhalla, Odyssey, they've taken to the internet to do some sort of like live stream presentation where they announce the game. So that is a little different if they show off the game in any great detail early next year. That would be pretty darn sweet. Second thing to talk about is the difference between the two characters. So I don't think the two characters themselves is anything new, the male being the samurai, the female being the shinobi, but what he goes into is just how they're going to play. So the samurai is going to be more like muscle. He'll be the brute and he'll have heavy attacks, and then he goes on to say it's unclear who exactly the female is based on real life, but we understand that she'll be a lot more agile. And then he says, one thing to be clear though, both characters will have completely different traits and weapons to make them unique from one another. So that's kind of the new part. We had heard before that it was going to be both characters or 2 different characters that you'll be able to play as. And then finally, he goes into stealth. So he talks about stealth being a major focus, and that it would be taking features from Splinter Cell. So a couple examples, players will be able to use shadows to conceal themselves, as well as extinguish torches to stay in the dark. Bodies can be picked up and moved. Another feature is destructible environments, which will allow players to break anything that they would expect to be able to break in real life, such as screen doors can be slashed and broken into. He says it's not Battlefield-esque, it's not going to go that extreme, but it is destructible in that way. So that's pretty sweet. Actually, that kind of keeps the theme that we've heard a lot from Mirage. And what we've heard from that is that Mirage is going to be a whole lot more stealth-focused. Combat is kind of like last resort. You're not really supposed to fight like armies of people, so they want you to be stealthy, and again, combat being the last resort. So that sounds like Mirage is kind of the kickoff point for that theme of Assassin's Creed, and that this next game would be taking from that, along with a few new things, destructible environments, etc. So pretty cool. Shaping up to be pretty cool. I need to see it. I think we all kind of need to see it. And again, if he's right, which I do trust Tom Henderson quite a bit, then we'll be seeing it early next year. So that's exciting. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.